bucket off this grader here, and then we'll go do a quick little recon. Show you guys what I got going on today. Quick run of this driveway. Like I said, it's about a quarter mile long. You can see we got some potholes here. Oh, you can see how rough that is here on this corner. We'll get those out.
Alright guys, so as I was editing this video, I realized I wanted to add a little bit more commentary to it. So if this sounds a little funny, it's because it's a voiceover. But what I wanted to mention was check out the driveway right now before I get started. You can see it looks like it's in need of some rock. Later in the video, I'll throw on the road grader and you'll see how that brings the rock back to the surface. And if you stick around to the end, you'll get to see the finished product of this driveway.
This right through here is most of their problem area. You can see a few potholes are getting. I'll show you guys how I get those out with my ripper on the front of the grader. So we'll get those out. Hopefully I got another charger in my truck. This GoPro's at 56%. The charger I got hooked up right now isn't working. It's always something. I'm going to pull a bunch of this rock here that's on the edge. I'm going to pull that in. Just use the bucket on the skid steer here.
So this here's our road grader. But what this thing does, it's got two cutting edges and then it's got a bar on the back that does the back dragging. So you drop this down, those two will cut and it kind of churns over the material, spills over the back, and then that back bar smooths it out. So one pass does a lot of work. It's a pretty great tool. Also, these two front cutting edges, they're on this hydraulic arm here. So inside the cab, I can turn these or angle them, and that'll push material that way. So that gives me a little more control over where the gravel and material is going, and it also helps establish a crown and driveways. And then these are the rippers here. What I like to use those for is removing potholes. So what I'll do is lower those, and then you just scratch out the potholes with those, and then use the grader to grade them in.
Alright, so you can see I only dropped 3 of the rippers because I'm not going to want to rip up the whole road, just the areas where the potholes are. But this here's what I was talking about when I said I could hydraulically angle this grader. So doing that pushes material to the passenger side. So if I run my track down the driver's side of a road, hydraulically angle that to the passenger side, it'll slowly build up the crown in the center, which gives you a properly graded road. So we're only going to rip on the areas that have potholes. Everything else is fine. Now you can see why I only dropped those 3. I didn't want to rip up the entire road, I just want to focus on the potholes. And you got to rip out the bottom of the potholes, not just the high sides. See, right there's the lowest spot. Get those ripped out. That's about all it needs. Just having the right gear is half the battle. You can see I gotta be a little careful here. You don't want to get into the big material. Yeah, won't go anymore on this side here. truck is a roller. So you got all that, we'll leave that for now. So you got all that weight focused on the rear tires of the dump truck, and it's one heck of a roller. It rolls all this in super tight, compacts it. That's another little thing I do. Just take my time and do it right. I try not to get in a rush and get in and out of these types of jobs and build it to last. Put these rippers back up and we're going to get to grading here. You can see how that grader's working. It's kind of churning up the road here a little bit. Once you get out on these open roads though, you just get going and you can see what it's doing. The front blade's cutting, second blade's cutting, kind of churning it, and it's going over the back, and the back blade's smoothing it. You'll see whenever I turn around and come back the other way what it looks like just one pass. Kind of angle this towards the middle a little bit to build up a crown. This grader's 8 foot wide. I'm always making little micro adjustments with my hands here in the cab. I know you can't see my hands, but this isn't like a set it and forget it type thing. You're just watching how much it's cutting, feeling the machine, and just kind of go off your experience. But I'm just making little micro adjustments up and down, tilting the attachment to keep it cut properly. See, this is the area that was all rutted up and potholed up. It's already looking better with just the ripper. I still got the blades angled to the center of the road, so it's pushing more of the material towards the center there, you can see. Now I kind of straighten them out because we're in a low spot here. The road doesn't look too bad down at this bottom, it's pretty flat. Shaped pretty good, that is.
Alright, so you can kind of see what's going on here. As I move forward and really get moving, you can see this grader digging down into the driveway and kind of turning all the rock over. And what that's doing is it's bringing all the rock that's kind of down in the driveway, it's bringing that back up to the surface, bringing that good rock back up, and it's remixing the rock and the fines together. And what fines are is fines are just essentially just crushed rock. It's like rock dust. You get that from the quarry, you know, when they're crushing the rock, and then also when you're driving over your driveway over time. You know, your driveway gets crushed and turned into fines. But that is one of the advantages to this grader that we have. Not only does it make us efficient, but also it cuts down on cost for our customers because we don't have to bring in as much material typically.
SD card in my GoPro is full, so I had to switch over to my camera. It actually filled up about halfway through this job, and so I'm missing a bunch of footage. But here's a quick shot with my phone of the finished product. As you can see, kind of cleaned up the ditches. There was some high spots. I knocked those off. That way water will shed down into the ditch properly. This road is actually 1/4 mile long, so I probably won't walk the whole thing, but I wanted to show you a part of it on my way out here. That's pretty much it. This side was high as well, so I cut all that out. All right, so that's a wrap on this one. I'm all loaded up, about ready to get out of here. Feel free to give me a call if you have any projects I can help out with. Thank you.